I've always been, like, I wouldn't say obsessed, but I've always been very fascinated with the 70s. I was too young to really experience the 70s, but I think most of my favorite movies, like, you know, Godfather 1 and 2 and The Conversation and all those movies of the 70s, those are still my favorite movies, I think. And especially I think New York, for some reason, was fascinating during the 70s. I read Basketball Diaries by Jim Carroll, and he writes about growing up in New York during the 70s, and I met some people who grew up in New York in the 70s, like Paul Auster, and I asked him, you know, how was New York in the 70s? And he said, the 70s, it was a grim city, and the 70s, it was nothing like people remember it. They remember the summer of love, material optimism, but if you take a closer look, the 70s was about the Cold War, people waking up every morning with the fear of a, you know, nuclear war. It was the Vietnam War, it was political corruption in the United States. It was the big cities like New York, they were crime-ridden, it was pollution, and it was the economy was not going as well as we seem to remember it was. Lots of industries had big troubles during the 70s. So it was, especially in New York, he said it was a grim time. And I think I wanted to have, although in my Macbeth, it's not New York City, it's not Manhattan, but it has some of the atmosphere from the book, The Basketball Diaries, where you have a big city, at the same time it's a compact city, so you have the feeling that people know each other. All people in power know each other. Younger people, they can, when you see a face in the street, it will probably be a familiar face, although it's a big city. So I wanted the city to be big and small at the same time, and have all the problems that New York had during the 70s. That is like one big Hell's Kitchen.